Hi, I'm Randy Robison. This is Life Today TV. I have a very special guest with me. You have heard of John Eldredge, no doubt. I want you to meet Sam Eldredge. He is the co-author of a book with his father called Killing Lions, and the next great generation of writers, right?
I hope so. That's the plan anyway.
See. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me here.
So let's start with the Killing Lions bit, another violent-sounding book from the Eldredges.
Violent, adventurous.
Wild.
We couldn't call it Killing Dandelions.
Yeah. So what does that mean?
Well, the title is drawn from the Maasai tradition, where warriors have to go out and kill a lion in order to be considered a man, also pulling on the story of David and Goliath. By the time David was facing the trial of Goliath, he had spent years in the wild facing bears and lions, so he knew that he had what it took, what he needed for the new battle.
So is this what you're advocating? I'm assuming it's a metaphor.
It is exactly right. We feel like young men need some sort of trial to walk through, some sort of rite of passage in order to handle the life before them. That's what Killing Lions is all about.
What do you propose?
Well, I've had several lions that I use in my own story, partly graduating from college and taking your first real job, learning to wrestle with the fact that there's some disappointments there probably, that's usually a little smaller than you wanted and a little different than the promises they gave you in school. Climbing mountains, physical things like that, they all can be really diverse and yet transformative to our hearts, I think.
I have two sons.
Yeah.
How important do you think it is to really not just throw them into something for the sake of something,
Definitely.
but to really try to have the discernment to know what's best for them?
Yeah, well, I think it's different for everybody. I think for some guys, it's learning a new language, to be honest, or a chess tournament or a bike ride. There needs to be that intentionality of what it actually is. So if we could put the face of a line on something, like this is a challenge that we're gonna walk through together, and you're gonna learn what it is to test yourself and what it feels like to come through. That can be sailing, that can be even romancing a woman. It's a whole variety of things, and I think learning to both implement them and also experience them as they naturally come is all what learning about growing up is.
And what do we hope comes out of this?
We hope that we can handle the lives that are before us. I want to become the kind of man who can walk with strength and with honor and with holiness, and all of those pieces are building me up into that. I would love to see young men filled with passion and direction and guidance. I had specific friends in mind when I wrote this book. I was like, Tyler, Justin, like you were gonna love this because I'm asking the exact same questions, and if we all could get the same answers, we would just have so much passion in our lives that I just crave.
When you say that phrase, because I've interviewed your dad twice now, 3 times very soon. Do you draw from your dad, or you just like your dad? How's this whole father-son dynamic working out?
The phrase of passion, I think we just live in a particular worldview of wanting life to the fullest. That's the invitation. And sure, I get the wild, I get the outdoors, I love that. We find it in different ways. He's a fly fisherman, and I love motorcycles, I love sailing, and those are different things that we get to walk in now together.
Yeah.
I think as you begin to taste what the diversity of life is, the language really is irrelevant.
Yeah,
and it just kind of...
What about the writing?
The writing was a blast, actually.
Yeah.
I thought in college that my first book I would write with a pen name, that I would actually try to not write on his coattails in any way, shape, or form.
That's funny. I actually did that in college.
Yeah, write with a pen name?
I didn't use Robison.
Yeah, totally. I would go to my dad's retreats and introduce myself as Sam Johnson and see if anybody could figure it out. Writing this project, however, was part of my journey. I needed to identify with a new actual identity that allowed me to do this project with them, that I was rejecting this piece of shame that I've been living under. Feeling like a black sheep in my family, feeling like a black sheep in the Christian world.
Why?
I didn't feel like I fit the mold.
Of your family, or of Christianity?
Of Christianity, yeah. In my family, I was welcomed and loved, and yet my own kind of trial was in college. Just the Christian world and shame. If I wasn't performing well academically or spiritually, that was the stick that they employed. So by the time I graduated,
where'd you go?
Do
you want to?
I think that most young men I've talked to have had a similar experience despite the school, and I have
Christian school. It sounded like
Christian school,
okay.
Small Christian colleges.
Okay.
I think they all kind of employ the same methods.
Oh, yeah, I went to Oral Roberts University. I saw it. Some people,
Sure.
it's kind of weird because different people have different experiences in the same environment.
Yep, definitely.
Right? I mean, I had a great experience and thought college was the greatest thing ever. And there would probably be some people on staff there and other students who are surprised at how well I turned out because
Sure.
I'm not totally messed up because I didn't necessarily toe the line in school. Let's not talk about me anymore.
Well, that's a lot like my story.
Yeah.
And I think that I was actually, I got the position of an RA the last year I was
Oh,
there.
geez.
And people were blown away. They're like, Sam, like,
Yeah.
you do know who you hired, right? I didn't have the reputation for, we're going to follow the rules to the letter of the law. Like, no, I'm after these guys for their hearts, these young guys. My freshman RA was huge in my life. So actually, by the time I've gone through all this world and come out the other side, writing a project with my dad a couple years later was awesome. At the time of my life, we got to have these conversations and go to our separate offices and put together this jigsaw of a book, and it was a blast.
My RA, my senior year, I was a thorn in his side.
Yeah.
Absolutely 100%.
Sure.
Anyway, we made up later. I apologize later. This is not all you do.
No.
You've got some other ventures out there.
Yeah.
Tell me what else you're working on.
We actually just hit a year with a magazine I do online called & Sons Magazine. I do it with my 2 brothers and a handful of other friends.
See, there's 3.
There are 3 of us,
boys.
the 3 Eldredge brothers, and we
Nice.
all write. We all end up being English majors. We all have a taste for the outdoors and beauty, and that's really what the magazine centers around.
Any competition between the brothers as to, in the
There was
writing
plenty
world?
of competition growing up. It's true what they say, though. As you get older, you really do become better friends with your brothers, and I love them.
Very cool. Okay, so we're going to follow you. We're going to check your stuff out. What's the best place to keep up with Sam Eldredge?
& Sons Magazine, that's really the place to come. I do a lot of writing there. We've got some video projects coming up this summer. We've got some old ones already on there from last year. They're incredible. & Sons Magazine.
Cool. Check it out. And if you want to see Sam with his father, John, you can see them together on Life Today. That is available at lifetoday.org. Thanks for sitting down with us.
Yeah, thanks so much.